Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Rise Weekly Review with our intro from Gil Scott Heron. The revolution will not be televised. This is the Rise Weekly Review for the week of October 12th through the 18th. Our top story for the week involved the tragic murder of a pregnant mother in Jeffrey Manor on Tuesday. Just after midnight, officers responded to a shooting on the 2100 block of East 95th Place. 35-year-old Stacy Jones was found lying on the side of her home with multiple gunshot wounds to her back. She was taken to the University of Chicago Medical Center, where she was pronounced dead. Medical staff were able to deliver the baby, who was rushed to Comer's Children's Hospital. While early reports suggested the baby may recover, sadly, breaking news over the weekend came out of the baby's passing. Jones worked as a probation officer and was armed at the time of her death. Police also found signs of racist graffiti sprawled across her home, but did not link it to a motive in her killing. Police have questioned a person of interest, but so far no charges have been filed. On Monday evening, a 16-year-old boy was wounded in a drive-by shooting in South Chicago. The boy was walking around 87th and South Chicago Avenue when someone in a dark sedan began opening fire, striking the young teen. The teen was taken to Trinity Hospital, where he was last reported in good condition. On Tuesday, a shooting occurred near the South Shore Cultural Center on 70th and South Shore Drive. The shooting left the 25-year-old man, in critical condition. The man was in a vehicle around 6:13 p.m. when another vehicle pulled up behind him and began opening fire. The man was struck in the torso and suffered additional injuries as his car slammed into a pole. The man was taken to University of Chicago Medical Center. A 22-year-old woman was shot after exiting a gas station in South Deering around 6 a.m. early Sunday morning. The woman suffered a gunshot wound to the foot and was taken to Advocate Trinity Hospital. She was announced in good condition. On Saturday, a 38-year-old woman was shot on 80th and Muskegon. Reports say the woman was involved in an argument with someone when the person pulled out a gun and began shooting at her. She was struck in the left foot. She was taken to South Shore Hospital in good condition. A fire early Sunday on 83rd and Colfax in South Chicago has left one woman injured and 7 people displaced. The fire was reported around 6:08 a.m. The woman was taken to South Shore Hospital and treated for smoke inhalation. The cause of the fire is currently under investigation. Calumet Heights, Pill Hill, and the surrounding areas are being warned about a string of carjackings affecting residents. Police are warning of an armed group of teens that have repeatedly carjacked residents who pull into their driveways during the evening rush hours. Since late June, at least 16 people have been carjacked. 10 of those carjackings have taken place in the Calumet Heights area. A 15-year-old girl reported missing from her South Shore home on 71st and East End on Friday was found safe on Sunday. Despite the amount of increased COVID cases affecting residents of Northwest Indiana, a decision was made to reopen the East Chicago School City for in-person learning. The school city has been operating remotely since August. The Board of Trustees voted unanimously on Wednesday to reopen schools beginning October 26th. Staff and teachers held a rally in opposition to the school reopening, citing safety and health concerns. Governor Pritzker has announced a plan to extend the state's moratorium on evictions for an additional 30 days. The governor has stated that nothing has really changed in regards to COVID-19 and the economic effects on people's jobs and ability to pay rent. Some landlords and building owners said the governor's decision impacts their ability to maintain their buildings. Rent and housing advocates state that the expiration of the moratorium would possibly displace hundreds of thousands of families facing increased struggles with employment. More details are expected in the coming weeks on the governor's plans. City of Chicago officials continue to urge residents to heed the state quarantine recommendations and either avoid Indiana or self-quarantine for 14 days upon return. With the increasing rates of COVID impacting both the city of Chicago and Northwest Indiana, concerns continue to grow over the impact as the fall flu season begins. While Illinois has been attempting to constrain the spread of the virus, Indiana has taken measures to reduce restrictions. Chicago announced earlier in the week that it was officially um, assigning Indiana to its list of state quarantines. On Sunday, the United Steelworkers Union showed its opposition to U.S. President Donald Trump. As part of an effort in several battleground states, the union projected a logo endorsing former Vice President Joe Biden and Senator Kamala Harris. In Chicago, the projection was shined over Trump Tower. The union stated they were shining a bat signal as a signal of distress and the need for workers to get involved in the upcoming general election. Early voting has begun in the city of Chicago in what some are calling one of the most consequential presidential elections in U.S. history. Chicago is among many places throughout the country that has begun seeing record numbers of early voter registrations and early voting. Chicago residents have several early voting locations that opened up last week in each of Chicago's wards. Finally, as we enter the winter months and flu season, please be aware that the threat from COVID has not passed. As we enter the winter months, the number of cases are expected to rise in the city of Chicago, Northwest Indiana, and throughout the country. Please be sure to continue to remain vigilant and practice safety. The COVID death rate continues to show disproportionate impacts on poor communities, especially communities of color. Please be aware of the vast amount of misinformation being spread about COVID on social media. The virus remains a threat. While masks and social distancing are not perfect, they still remain our best chance in reducing the spread of the virus. The virus remains particularly dangerous for elderly and vulnerable populations. However, even young people can potentially be at risk. Risks include not only death, but various other potential long-term health impacts that scientists are now just starting to understand. There have been over 2,396 confirmed cases in the 60617 zip code alone, and 594 in the 60633 zip code that represent the southeast side of Chicago. Please remain vigilant and safe, and thank you for joining us for this week in review.